Hello, everyone. I'm back again doing another audio for you. I was just listening at the big news today from a couple of websites about, again, the 3-Eye Atlas. And in this particular case, it looks like NASA, or it's being reported that NASA has finally spoken, but not to the public, to other organizations such as itself and probably other organizations not so like itself, and that they're preparing for their defense system. And if you remember back in the 80s, President Ronald Reagan had started or commissioned the start of the Star Wars program, aptly named after the movie Star Wars. There was another different series or so related to like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, very much back years ago, years and decades ago, actually. So the Star Wars system in real time for America was the idea of having something out there in outer space now that they had reached the realm of the borderline of the heavens, which is what we look at every time we look up at night and see all the filaments, the stars, and the moon, and galaxies that we think are stars, but they're actually galaxies that we're looking at. That for the white man and white woman, that was something to be feared enough to put out weapons throughout the planet. And it was a European mindset that they would work together, all those nations, in order to quote unquote protect themselves from unknown enemies, not only from within, but from literally outer space. And so that is their core position. It is what they are made of. And that is what Dr. John Henry Clark said, that the white man has been conditioned because he comes from an icebox to look at his environment in an aggressive stance. And that is, I have to find it and I have to conquer it. I have to destroy it in order for there to be some semblance of safety. There must be some control, even though he never finds that, and she never finds that sense of peace and calm in relation to the environment that he is in. Of course, I was a little girl back then, and basically in grade school, so I had vague memories of it, but it was a controversial statement or policy, and I believe that some of his counterparts were laughing at him. You know, they're like, Star Wars, really? This is a movie. There's nothing out there. It was kind of that belief. But eventually, it came to be reality. It was probably reality by then anyway. It was just that he was the president that was announcing that they had literally aimed their guns and be willing to turn their guns on, and that was a statement that these beings were never going to make peace with anyone, that anyone that they encountered was already an enemy. And that what we have seen with the Star Trek series was just basically fable with them. They could never reach that sense of security within themselves and their environment where they could face the world without the photon torpedoes and the laser beams They refuse to move about in this realm of reality without having at least some comfort that at will they can kill or annihilate any being or any object that doesn't go along with their schemes, plans, and ideals. This is not true power, folks. It is fear and cowardice. And such a thing has literally taken a sledgehammer to this planet itself, almost bringing it to the brink of destruction, changing it almost forever to where life would not live. That's how far they have gone. So, although we hadn't heard from those defensive systems that they have in the perimeter of Earth and in outer space, and even probably on Mars and wherever else they took their satellites, they have now met, it seems. The report is that NASA has met or at least conversed with every agency on Earth that they have given their power to. Like Europe and China and other places, or the Asian world, and they are all in agreement, all confederate, that if that object turns and heads for Earth, and it will, that they are not going to meet it with peace. They are going to take the stance of an enemy. And of course, we are not surprised. They do know that parts of the Bible are absolutely true, even though there is strong evidence that a lot of it has been corrupted, and even the history of it has a bloody history background to it. But that all in all, the prophecies that they need to keep in front of their face throughout the centuries or the millennia has remained intact. And one of them is about the ending of their world, and that the Elohim would return to free the people of Jerusalem, to free the people of the Israelite blood line, and bring them to a place where they would be free and to do for themselves and for others what all the other nations refuse to do, which is bring humanity back into a position where they are one with the creator of the universe. And not so much as that, you are inside the creator, but that your relationship is one that is in perfect harmony, not only with yourself and the creator of the universe, but also with nature. And because these people gave their hearts and their minds and their souls over to the great Satan, to Lucifer, to the demonic entities that inhabit this earth, because they gave themselves over, they fear what is coming upon the earth. They fear the future, and they've been fearing it for centuries. Honestly, I think they've been fearing it since Roman times. And that's what, 2,000-3,000 years ago? So that's a whole lot of being scared. So you can imagine now that there is real dynamic in your face. You don't have to say it's in the unseen world, but it's evident that there is a supernatural force on the move in this solar system, and they can clock it by time and date and speed and distance. And some people are so overwhelmed with this truth that they are sliding that into conspiracy too. They're saying all kinds of things, that this is something that white people are doing, or that the demons and Satan is doing, and it's all a hoax, and it's only to make us slaves. And I want to tell them, you're already slaves. I mean, if these people were allowed to continue, we would already be in the matrix. We would already be in little pod cells right now with little gadgets hooked up to our minds, and they would literally be feeding off our energy, and we would be living in this fantasy, non-real world, unable to wake up out of it. They would have already done it. I mean, you can, especially the descendants of American slaves. I know, I'm asking you directly, I know you can feel the fear and uneasiness that is pervading in this land right now. I know you have to feel, even if you probably don't call it that, there is something floating around in the atmosphere that just cannot be explained. And I'm telling you what that is their fear of the future, fear of recompense, fear of redemption, fear of retribution. But I also want you to notice how we are not afraid. How I've been on YouTube, and a lot of us, damn near all of us, are not afraid. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that we are looking forward to what's about to happen? Have you noticed that with all the fear mongering that we have been under for all these centuries, all of this stuff, even in the church, especially the church, who are proving themselves to have been a disservice to us instead of a help, especially probably in these last 40 to 50 years of their existence, when they became pimp preachers, that the push to have us be afraid that the end would come and that there will be Armageddon, and you better do this and you better do that and you better behave and you better, just kind of all kinds of fear mongering, while the most deviant people on the planet in these last 50 years, last 100 years, last 500 years have done some of the most awful things known to mankind and have prospered. I don't know how I mean, obviously, I don't know how we even fell for it, but obviously we did. But I am so glad to see that we have finally waken up and we're just not afraid anymore. And we're just not afraid. And so on one of the podcasters, she has said that not she, but some of the commentators on TikTok were saying that the government is telling people that if these aliens try to communicate with you, don't it's not illegal for you to listen, but don't say anything back. That's hilarious. You know what that tells me? That tells me the limits of their power, which they just admitted to. That means you don't have the power with all the bullshit that you've been telling us about how powerful you are and how you control the land and how you dominate the sea and how you are conquerors of space and time and everything else, that you can't even stop these people or these angels or these aliens, however you refer to them, from talking to us. All you can do is measly say, don't answer back. Do you know what? I'm like, excuse me, creator of the universe, but I gave two fingers to the screen, two fingers. Like, please, that's what I've been praying for the angels to materialize as humans as they did in yesteryears, and I believe that they have authorization to do that. I believe that they just with anything, when you're getting ready to go to battle, you send a reconnaissance team in. And so those people can blend in. They're made to blend in to see what's going on with the inhabitants of the planet, of the land that you're getting ready to take over or getting ready to conquer. They usually dress up in the same clothing. They wash the people. They take on their language. They take on their affects, everything. And so, my thing is, definitely connect with the descendants of American slaves. Definitely connect with these people, because we are the true Hebrew Israelites. We are the true chosen people. So it would make sense that they will begin to make contact with us. And so I think the reason why they let this out now, because I know I've been praying for it, and I don't think I'm the only one that has been asking the Creator that, to make me not afraid to be able to enter, speak with them. And I would suggest that you pray too if you haven't already. But certainly they will have the capabilities, and it would make sense. It would be in line with the Bible. You did have angels that communicated with the chosen people, and most of that was to warn them of what was coming and to guide them to what to do next. And so, yeah, I'm praying for that and anticipating that. And I would suggest that you do too, if that is your commission for that angel of light, that angel of justice to um, engage you. And the one thing I ask for is to not say something stupid, and to be truthful and to speak truth. And I ask for those things because they're harder than what it appears to be, especially in a world that has heaped up so much wickedness and lies, and we've been rolling and living in the cesspool of that. It would be foolish for us to think that not any of it got on us. That's just foolishness. And so I am asking for the guidance of the Creator of heaven and earth for us to be, as a chosen people, to not only be ready, but to be able, and for the Creator of the universe to put that ability in us to communicate what we need to communicate, and to do what we need to do, and to not be afraid, because of people who know that their time is up, is facing their end. Not to be afraid of what they can do, because they can only do so much clearly. And they have shown already with this action that they would rather die than to submit to our Heavenly Father, to our Heavenly Mother. They would rather go to the grave, because that's what they're doing now, with those defense systems. It's not for our benefit. It's not for humanity benefit. You don't realize these people have told us time and time again, or maybe you do, that how much they hate human beings, and and they have, many of them, too many, have been anointed by these demons and by Satan, and Satan and the demons deplore us as beings that have been given this planet. And so it would make sense that they would put out such an edict to not say anything, to don't engage them. Bring it on. I mean, shit, what else do we have to lose, Black people? What else do we have to lose? And so if they coming around and they're changing things and changing the sun, they're interacting with the sun, they're changing the dynamics of our reality, which they've been commissioned to do. And when they do come around, they probably will be reaching out to us. And part of that's going to be, a major part of that is to let us know that we're getting the hell up out of here, and that there is going to be a great separation, and to be prepared. Remember what it says in the 10 Commandments. Excuse me, that's the movie. But the premise is when they were dealing with Pharaoh, and the angel of death was approaching, everybody was told to get ready. They were speaking to him. So anyway, don't be afraid, and know that what are all the powers that these people have, they don't have the spirit behind it anymore. That's been locked off from them. And now only the Creator of the universe is speaking, and speaking loudly. So bring on the angels. They can't come soon enough. Thank you.